Hi, amazing parents of kids with special needs. I'm Jen. I'm an Anat Baniel method practitioner in beautiful Chilliwack, BC, and I wanted to pop in here and talk about failure. What is your relationship with failure? What do you think about failure? I'm listening to an audiobook by Mel Robbins. You've probably heard of her. She's got some really cool TED Talks, and this book happens to be called Take Control of Your Life. And I always love reading these kind of self-help books, are so inundated with that. They parallel so much the principles of the Anat Baniel method. It's just so cool to read about. Anyway, and I can kind of like relate these concepts that they have in their books to ABM, the Anat Baniel method. And so I wanted to pop in here and just share a bit about it. And she was talking about failure. And Annette likes to talk about failure too as approximations. But first, I want to tell you what Mel Robbins says. So she was talking about some studies done. The big universities have discovered there's kind of two mindsets: a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. And I could totally relate this to Annette's moving from a fixing mindset to connecting with your child. So a fixed mindset, according to the researchers, is basically like looking at it like if you know your IQ, say you know your IQ 120, whatever, that's your IQ. It's not changeable, so it's fixed, it's set. So you can use that IQ as basically an excuse for your failures. So to avoid failures. So you can say, I'm not smart enough to become a lawyer. I'm not smart enough to own my own business. I'm not smart enough to go to university. I'm not smart enough to blah, 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 because somebody told you that your IQ was this and it defined you, and like that's it. So that's a fixed mindset. So a growth mindset is where the focus is more on the belief that your talents and skills can grow with experience. Neuroplasticity, people, right? So, I mean, that's what I want to teach my daughter. I want to teach her that she can grow her talent and skills with experience. Okay, there's nothing fixed about her. She can grow. Okay, we all have the possibility and potential to grow. So how do you facilitate growth is through connection. And ABM, Anat Baniel method of NeuroMovement, has like these great 9 essentials to help accelerate that learning potential. So failure is like, you can't control failure. Like, you're not in charge of failing. So say if I want my daughter to be talk. So talk at this end, nonverbal at this end. With a fixed mindset, if she doesn't talk, then like we failed, right? Like that's from a fixed mindset. Now my daughter she's like falls somewhere in the middle, and she's changed throughout the years. Probably about maybe last year, I can no longer really say that she's non-verbal. Okay, but can she talk? Not really, right? I mean, she can, but you know what I mean? Like if that was my fixed goal, was for her to talk, well, then we haven't reached it yet. I'm thinking that's like fluency of conversation. People can understand every word she says and blah, 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 blah. She can and tell the world her ideas. She hasn't reached that. So have we failed? Well, no, we haven't failed. We're just on a path of approximations to reach her potential. I don't even know where we're going to reach, right? Like, I'm not in control of that. And I kind of think that's kind of a nice thing for a parent to let go of, that control of like needing your child to reach a certain goal. Let go of that goal, right? Like, you're not in charge of their potential. You're not in charge of their potential. You're in charge of uh, connecting with them and facilitating their learning, right? How can you make their learning environment safe and set up for kind of their success so they can have all of those approximations and keep going and have the resilience to want to try again, want to try different things, and help them to be a learning brain. Help them to be a learning brain. There is no end, people, to learning. This, that's what it's about. It's about learning through connection. So that's kind of what I've, coming to realize through this journey. And I wanted to know, what are your feelings towards failure? Like, what does failure mean to you? Has your relationship kind of changed with it? Have you looked at how you feel about failure? Has it been a barrier to you, to try new things and different things? Yeah, it's kind of a loaded question, but I want to know your thoughts. Okay? Let me know in the comments, and we'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.